Conference Commission meeting for January 18th, 2024, and call the meeting to order. I'll just take just a few moments real quick. I know yesterday we had the state of the city and state of the county, and we had a lot of our staff and team members there, and I thank them for being there and their hard work. But I also want to take a moment this morning to thank those who weren't there, who really keep Mobile County moving, and thank you for the work that you do. Not just for us, but when you do the work for us, you're doing it for the citizens of Mobile County. And I wanted to just take a moment to thank those who weren't able to attend yesterday for your hard work and dedication as well. And I'd also like to take just another second to thank Mike Evans out at the Mobile County Emergency Management for his hard work this week. I know he's not here. I hope he gets a chance to hear this, but he was very integral in decisions that we had to make this week with the extreme cold weather that moved through our area. They always do a fantastic job, and it helped us make decisions on scheduling and keeping our employees safe, but also it helped us with real-time information that I think Eddie was able to get from them to keep our streets safe and keep the citizens of Mobile County safe.
May I add, I also appreciate the report from Public Works about our roads. I know you did a road check in the morning just to make sure they were all safe and people could drive on them. So that was important to know. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you too, Ricky. All right. We're going to move on to the agenda, or actually, Cherie, do we have any speakers this morning?
No one signed up to speak this morning, sir.
Okay, so we will move on to the agenda, Glenn.
Good morning, Commissioners. Number one, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of December 11, 2023 and December 21st, 2023. Number two, approve the list of claims. Number three, hold a public hearing so any citizen of the county shall be given an opportunity to be heard for or against any item related to the statement of revenues, expenditures, and change in fund balance report. Number four, hold a public hearing to receive citizens' comments regarding the proposed substantial amendment to the program year 2023 action plan for the Emergency Shelter Grant Program. This information has been available to the public since December 20th, 2023, requested by Grants Department. Number five, adopt a substantial amendment to the program year 2023 action plan for the Emergency Shelter Grant Program following the comment period and public hearing requested by the Grants Department. Number six, approve appropriation contract with Allentown Elementary School Children First Parent-Teacher Organization in the amount of $14,652 from District 2 Education Funds to purchase shade structures for the playground at Allentown Elementary School. Number seven, approve estimated costs of appointed election officials for the March 5th, 2024 Alabama presidential preference and statewide primary election requested by probate court as follows. Total estimated Alabama primary runoff election day pay $145,350. Number eight, approve estimated cost of appointed election.
On numbers, item 7, so is the $145,350, is that for the primary day or just for the runoff, or are they exactly the same? I saw you come in, that's why I asked Mark.
I'm just trying to make sure I see how it's laid out here.
It looks like 7 and 8 are the same price, and I'm wondering if the verbiage in number 7 should just say primary.
I think that's
election
correct, Commissioner. I believe this is probably for each separate day.
Okay, so one is just primary and then the other is
That's what I
runoff.
figured it was.
One should just be the primary for March 5th. The other should be for the runoff on April 16th.
Okay.
I think we
And
need,
we are required, kind of a little quirk in the code, to use the same appointed workers that we appoint for our primary. They are automatically appointed to be used for the runoff under the code, and so it's basically a duplicate of the day.
Right.
Okay.
It's got different dates on it.
I
We
think
just need to strike runoff.
runoff in
on
number 7, yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Glenn, did you get that? I think we need to strike runoff in number 7 and it should read total estimated Alabama primary election day pay. And then number 8 will say primary runoff election day pay.
Yeah, because at the top, it indicates that it's the primary election, not the runoff. It's just,
You said number 7, runoff?
Number 7, we need to remove runoff in that last
just in that bottom,
sentence,
yeah.
where it says total estimated Alabama primary.
Right.
Oh, I see, okay.
And number 7 only.
On number 7, number 8, it would stay in, yes.
Are we good with number 8?
Yeah.
Yes,
great.
number 8's fine. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, number 9, approve estimated cost of the poll worker mandatory training sessions to be conducted at Redemption Church, Abba Temple Shrine, in the Mobile Civic Center, beginning February 15, 2024, and concluding February 28, 2024, requested by probate court. Total estimated poll workers training, $19,335. Number 10, approve the estimated cost of inspectors and chief clerks anticipated mandatory secondary poll worker training sessions to be conducted at various locations on April 10, 2024 and April 11, 2024, requested by probate court as follows. Total estimated poll worker training, $4,800. Number 11, approve estimated mileage and costs associated with cell phone usage by appointed election officials for March 5th, 2024, Alabama primary runoff election, requested by the probate court as follows. Total estimated amount requested, $1,264.50. Number 12, approve estimated.
Hold on.
Yeah, same problem there with the, that's not the runoff, that's the primary election.
Okay. Number 12, approve estimated mileage and costs associated with cell phone usage by appointed election officials for the April 16, 2024 Alabama primary runoff election, requested by probate court as follows. Total estimated amount requested, $1,264.50. Number 13, approve assignment to TAG Architects for Michael Square License Commission installation of TAG ATM. Work will consist of design, bidding, and project administration associated with the development of the TAG ATM system. Pros fee is $9,634, requested by Facilities and Maintenance Department. Number 14, approve estimated cost for the total number of appointed absentee election officials for the March 5th, 2024 Alabama primary runoff election.
No runoff.
Yeah. Requested by probate court as follows. 22 total estimated absentee election officials, 3,400. Number 15, approve estimated cost for the total number of appointed absentee election officials for April 16, 2024 Alabama primary runoff election, requested by the probate court as follows. 22 total estimated absentee election officials, 3,400. Number 16, approve estimated cost to deploy up to 100 election tech support specialists for the March 5th, 2024 Alabama primary runoff election. Do we want that? Nope.
Yeah, we'll scratch it.
Anytime it says March 5th, it should not say primary. It should not say runoff.
Okay. And 100 total estimated election tech support specialists, $54,930. Approve estimated costs should a runoff election be required to deploy up to 100 election tech support specialists for April 16, 2024 Alabama primary runoff election, requested by probate court. 100 total estimated election tech support specialists, $54,930. Number 18, authorize amendment to the subrecipient agreement with Habitat of Humanity of the Southwest Alabama regarding community development block grant funds to provide roof replacement for eligible residential homeowners within the urban county to extend the term of the agreement until June 30th, 2024, requested by the Grants Department. Number 19, accept grant award of the Alabama Department of Youth Services in the amount of $1,066,460 for the fiscal year 2023 through 2024 for the Mobile County Juvenile Courts Transition Continuing Care Program requested by the James T. Strickland Youth Center. Number 20, adopt a resolution authorizing request of the Sheriff's Office to dispose of certain items from fixed assets inventory list. Number 21, approve appropriation contract with Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association in an amount of $15,000 from District 1 Commission funds for operational expenses. Number 22, approve sponsorship agreement with Mobile Area Black Chamber of Commerce in a total amount of $800 for its Black History Luncheon. Funds will be divided as follows. Number 23, approve contract with Dawkins Street Architects to perform an assessment of a county-owned historic structure in African Town in the amount of $10,200 pending legal review. Number 24, approve a no-cost grant amendment to extend the period of the performance for Project Northwest Satsuma Water and Sewer Project requested by Environmental Services Department. Number 25, approve contract amendment number 1 with Mott McDonald Alabama LLC for project Beulah Battery Collection System Lift Station upgrades to add engineering and design services. The costs associated with this contract will be reimbursed by Restore grant requested by the Environmental Services Department. 26, approve contract amendment number 2 for Constantine Engineering, Inc. to add additional construction, engineering, and inspection services. The costs associated with this amendment will be paid from ARPA requested by Environmental Services Department. 27, authorize advertising and receiving bids for project Chicxulub Park Campground improvements requested by Environmental Services Department. 28, approve, excuse me, request of the Alabama Cooperative Extension System 4-H Club to use the John Archer Arena from February 15, 2024 to February 16, 2024 for the 4-H show, calves, and weigh-in auction, and waive all associated arena fees. There will be no cost or preparation for the county requested by the Environmental Services Department. 29,
Were we going to set up some special rules where, for the arena leasing, for use of the arena?
Good morning. We are working on a program for allowing special use rules and policies and procedures. So we're working on that, and we're also waiting on a review on the program, the arena's eligibility for improvements under the ARPA program. So we need to make those improvements to allow the public greater access to the arena.
Okay, will they still need to, every single time they've got to practice and stuff, will they still need to come before us once we set that up, or will we have another process?
So what I hope to see is that the commission authorizes the management program, and by authorizing it, then we can waive those fees without coming back to you. So that's what I'd hope to see.
All right.
So what you're saying is we're still waiting on the appropriation of ARPA funds to make the improvements?
Yes, ma'am. We need significant funding to secure the location. We need fencing and gates and improvements to parking and other improvements to the facility.
Thank you.
29, approve request of the Alabama Cooperative Extension Service 4-H Club to use the John Archer Arena for a new 4-H Raptors Archery Club to practice weekly and waive all associated fees. There will be no cost of preparation for the county, requested by Environmental Services. Number 30, we have a correction here. Number 30, approve request of the Alabama Coastal Foundation for sponsorship, and it should be $500, not $500,000, for the 10th annual.
That was definitely a question I was about to ask.
For the 10th annual Green Coast Council Sustainability Summit held on January 26, 2024 at the University of South Alabama campus. The purpose of the event is to promote practice of environmentally sustainable principles, will be paid from the Environmental Service Department budget. Number 31, consider taking the following actions on bids. Number 32, approve amending December 21st, 2024 minutes, agenda item number 27, to correct the purchase amount of the mesh security carts and padlocks with Granger under the current purchasing cooperative Sourcewell contract from $81,830.92 to $96,136.52. The increase is due to a size change in the security cart to fit voting machines for voting warehouses. Voting warehouse will be paid from the cost center to 012.
Are those cages, what I call cages?
Yes, Commissioner. The idea here is that we would have these to deploy the materials for each poll secured in a locked cage as they go out with the voting machines. So we would load those, preload those at the warehouse with various items that the inspector needs, and then have those delivered with the machines. And that way, we're not having to give them to the inspectors before the election to carry with them to the poll. So it should be a great, secure way to transport this material. I do understand there's some questions about this order and the timing, but I think I'm gonna have to leave that to the voting machine warehouse folks. They're handling that. It's not really coming through our office. But we're excited. I know Judge is excited about deploying these because it's really gonna take a lot of the burden off our individual inspectors to handle a bunch of materials that we have to hand them off, the weekend before the election, load those up in these prepackaged carts and have them delivered with secured locks to the voting location. So it should be a great.
That's great.
I know Brian is one of our inspectors, understands what that means. So this is a good progress.
Thank you.
Number 33, approve renewal of subscription agreement with High Seas Design House in the amount of $16,616.40 for G Suite Basic Annual Google email service for the Sheriff's Office. 34, approve renewal of software license with Magnet Forensic LLC in the amount of $11,820 for Gray Key License Unlimited Consent for the Sheriff's Office. 35, approve renewal of termite inspection agreement with Knox Pest Control for Grand Bay Library in the amount of $250, and the Revenue Commissioner's Office at Michael Square Shopping Center in the amount of $620. 36, approve contract amendment number 11 to Mobile County Park Initiative, contract with Moffett and Nickel, Inc., dated June 23rd, 2021, to add bidding phase services for the Chickasaw Campground Improvements Project, requested by Environmental Service Department. Number 37, approve advertising and receiving bids for project extension of Fluent Force Main and Bayou La Battery Wastewater Treatment Facility, Phase 1, requested by the Environmental Service Department. 38, authorize advertising and receiving bids for project extension of Influent Force Main from Bayou La Battery Wastewater Treatment Facility, Phase 2, requested by the Environmental Service Department. Number 39, approve contract amendment number 1 with Thompson Engineering for project extension of Fluent Force Main from Bayou La Battery Wastewater Treatment Facility to add bidding and construction engineering and inspection services. Costs associated with this contract will be reimbursed by the Restore grant requested by the Environmental Service Department. Number 40, authorized letter of support for the University of Alabama to submit a proposal to the National Science Foundation for funding of a research study related to coastal flooding in Mobile. Excuse me. Number 41, approved sponsorship agreement with Delta Resource Educational Association Mobile, Inc. in the amount of $3,000 from District 1 Commission funds for its Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. Alabama State Cluster event. 42, approve addendum to the Mobile County Commission's Citizen Participation Plan for U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development funded programs to address specific requirements associated with Community Development Block Grant disaster recovery funding requested by the Grants Department.
What did we have to add?
Good morning. So we had to add the specific requirements from the state for the public hearings and the timelines that they're requiring. So it's kind of lays the framework of the differences between the disaster recovery funding and the normal CDBG funding. And the state had some additional further timelines that they asked us to implement, so we're including those here.
Okay, thank you.
43, approve appointment of Travis Johnson to serve on the Board of Directors of the Mobile Bay Convention and Visitors Bureau to represent District 3 for 3 years, expiring December 31st, 2026. And 44 needs to be voted at the conference. Approve accepting hold harmless indemnity agreement with the City of Pritchard for use of the county equipment requested by District 1 Commissioner Merceria Lugo.
So moved.
Second.
And we have an indigent care board meeting on Monday. That's it.
All right, Brian,
Good morning, Commissioners.
morning, how are you?
Very good. We would ask that this coming Monday, the 22nd of January, that you consider taking the following action. Item number 1, authorize advertising and receiving bids for the construction of the Americans with Disabilities Act compliant curb ramps at various locations within the unincorporated areas of Mobile County. Item 2 is a separate project, but the description is almost identical. 2 years' worth of funding, and we're going to put them together and bid them together as one bid package.
Brian, can we go back? I want to ask a question real quick while we're talking about Americans with Disabilities Act. There was an organization who had requested, and I think Eric had shown the Excelsior Band, our building that we own right here next door. And I received a letter yesterday from them saying that the building would not be sufficient for what they were wanting to use it for because it did not meet ADA compliance as far as a ramp. I don't know what projects you have, but I'm asking that maybe you take a look at that building if it's not ADA compliant, because I think it's really the only reason why they weren't going to be able to use that building is because of that, because they were going to use it for a sort of a historical museum, or I guess a museum for their organization. And I think that was really the only reason that they weren't able to use it, because it wasn't ADA compliant. So if you don't mind,
Okay.
well, I just thought about it while we were
Yeah, we-
talking about various
We'll
county-owned
coordinate
buildings.
with Eric Lindsay
Yeah.
and have a look at that,
Yeah,
Commissioner.
thank you.
Item 3, accept and approve the reappointment of Merlin Miller and Mark Wadier as county surveyors for a 3-year term expiring March the 11th, 2027. Item 4, authorize acquisition of property and acceptance of right-of-way deeds and easements from the following property owners for the following projects.
Finally, thank you so much for, I see Karen has worked on this, Kim has worked on this a really long time. Thank you all for,
Yeah, she's diligent. Item 5, approve preliminary and final plat of re-subdivision of Lot 42, Gates of Fowl River. That's in Commission District 3. And this is the vacation situation down there, Jay? Yeah, okay.
This is,
Bill Brim.
okay, so the subdivision for the Gates of Fowl River, is that,
That's Mr. Green's property.
right,
On
Stephen
the
Green?
opposite side
Okay.
of the right-of-way from Mr. Brown's property, yes, sir. Item 6, award bid to HCL Contracting LLC for the resurfacing of the Dolphin Island streets. That's one of our 2022 pay-as-go projects. Item 7, approve application for Rebuild Alabama Act Annual Grant Program funds through the Alabama Department of Transportation in the amount of $350,000 for safety improvements on approximately 2 miles of Celeste Road and approximately 3.6 miles of Schillingers Road South. Item 8, approve assigning a contract for professional bridge inspection services for our county-wide bridge inspection program to Volkert Incorporated. That's a 2-year contract. Item 9, approve assigning a contract for professional engineering services for the removal of bridge structure number 334 on Riva Road to Thompson Engineering. Commissioner, if you remember, we got that grant for $150,000 to help us remove that. We're working on it now.
Thank you.
Item 10, approve right-of-way and/or easement agreement for track 16, track 18, and track 19 on our Ziegler Boulevard additional lanes project. That's one of our 2016 pay-as-go projects. And that is it.
What do we do with those bridge structures when they take them out? I was just curious. I was watching over the weekend. I had a whole lot of time on my hands, so I went and watched one contractor paint stripes on the road. And then I watched another one taking out that bridge on Johnson Road that's been replaced with a new bridge. What do we do with those?
If we do not need them and we do not have that contractor load them up on one of our low boys, we haul them back to the camp, which I don't think we're doing on the Johnson Road. A lot of times those contractors bust them up and make riprap out of them, or they'll haul them up to a hunting camp and put them across the creek at the hunting camp. It becomes theirs.
Yeah, I was just curious about, working with like the coastal conservation and maybe making fishing reefs or something. I just wasn't sure what we did with those.
You know, years ago, Commissioner, we had a situation where there were just many, many linear feet of large concrete pipe. And they were taking them and putting them on a barge and taking them out, making fishing reefs out of those.
I think the old Dog River Drawbridge is a fishing reef
It is.
at it now, so that's why I was asking, I guess. Thank you.
You remember the Dog River Drawbridge?
I seen pictures of it. I'm kidding. Yes, I remember that. I remember when there was no, maybe I don't remember when there was a bridge across Theodore Industrial Canal. I don't think I remember that bridge. I don't think I do, anyway. All right. You have anything? Did you have anything? All right, just a reminder, we do have a indigent care meeting, as Glenn mentioned, on Monday as well. So if there's no further business, we'll stand adjourned until Monday.